What's going on, y'all? So we got the Masquerader, the final depths, and I'm sure you're wondering, okay, dude, when's Spike gonna drop a video about these babies? Because I heard that they've been knocking things out. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm gonna knock you out. Yeah. Anyways, Masquerader has been taking names, kicking booty cheeks, and I don't necessarily want to necessarily spoil it entirely for you, but Depth 10, Level 10, might whoop yeah. Be sure to like and subscribe, y'all. It helps out tremendously. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we got the final last versions of Masquerader this week, which is the depths 9 and 10, which can be accessed from this menu like so. Extra dual quests and 9 and 10. Of course, the way that this works is that there's going to be all these different ranks which correspond to the level, and then once you clear one, the next one will be accessible. Now, in this fight, let me first note that, if you are wondering about dual quests, because remember, this drops a lot of dual quest stuff. If you are doing this stuff, if you can clear these high level ones, then you never need to do dual quests, the regular dual quests ever again, because there's like 7 or 8 of each fusion drop in this. So you pretty much never ever even need to fathom touching one of those other dual quests again, if you even are still. Like seriously, it was like 7 or 8 or something like that of each fusion that drops in here, plus other stuff, Hop from the House, all this other stuff drops in here. But nonetheless, that's just off the bat, so that way you know that what drops in there, what you're gonna get there. But of course, you can't experience any of that if you can never freaking get there. And let me tell you, it is a little bit difficult of a climb, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. But nothing, and I mean nothing, will prepare you for the final fight in Depth 10, Rank 10. Nothing will prepare you for that fight because it is entirely different. Even Depth 10, Rank 9, it's entirely different. Whole thing's entirely different. So nothing will really prepare you for that fight. Once you go into it, you're just kind of like, okay, well, this is what we're getting. This is what I got to work with. Hopefully it goes well. All right, you today. But it's an extremely fun fight. And it's a challenging fight. Now, depending on what class you are on, it's going to work a bit different, and it's going to be more difficult or less difficult depending on what class you are on. Some classes naturally have favorable designs for this fight, so they work very nicely. Juan is not necessarily one of those, because the thing about Depth 10 is that it has attacks that just avoid everything. Like, iframes does not matter. And the thing about Juan is that Juan has a lot of iframes. In practical sense, it's good because it gives iframes. But in this sense, it's not so good because they're animation locks and you can't move. And it can damage you because it goes through iframes. So that can be a little annoying. But other classes aren't like that. So depending on what class you are playing on, your results and your difficulty may vary, but all in all, the fight is a difficult fight. It's not just a walk in the park. It's going to be a fight that is going to, you have to focus, pretty much. But it is a super fun fight. It is a painful fight, and let me tell you, we grinded, and we went in there on Tekker, and I'm a gunner main technically speaking, but we were doing Tekker in the climb. So we got to Depth 10 and Rank 10, so we had to commit to it. There was no change in it. We had to commit to it. I was like, okay, we got to clear this on Tekker. But I had been streaming it for hours and hours. I think at one point, I probably hadn't eaten for like 14 hours or something like that. We were just grinding because I was committed to clearing it, and it was just not going well because it was diminishing returns at that point. So we had to take a break, came back the following day, and we cleared it within that first hour. So just a reminder, it does take some focus. So if you're like super duper tired, long day of work, you haven't eaten in like 3 years, don't know how you're still alive if you haven't eaten in 3 years, but that's beyond the point. If you're not up to speed on your energy and your focus, then that Depth 10, Rank 10 will present some difficulty for you. Most definitely. It's going to present some difficulty for you regardless if you're well rested or whatnot. But either way, just be prepared for it because that thing will slap you across the face. After we did Tekker, we did our gunner twin machine gun, which I figured would be easier, which it was. It was a bit easier to do twin machine gun. But we cleared both of those, and then we played around with Hunter Wire as well. So maybe we'll do that next. But nonetheless, this fight is greatly designed. I have really thoroughly enjoyed the climb for Masquerader. I think they did an absolutely fabulous job doing this fight, doing the designs on this fight, and increasing the mob's designs, its levels, its attack patterns, its different attacks. There's like new attacks in every single one. I thought that was absolutely amazing how they did this, and it was felt very good, very rewarding. The design was very nice, and that challenge of depth 10, rank 10 is exactly the type of stuff I like. You know, they're like, it's not for everyone. Understand that. Definitely understand that. So like, let me pause that there because it's definitely not for everyone. And you know, someone was in my chat and they're like, you know, I wish I could clear it. And I told them, look, you'll get it eventually. Don't, you know, this is meant to be challenging. This is meant to be something that maybe you want to strive towards. It's not meant for just everyone to go in there and willy-nilly defeat it without any effort. It's not meant for that. So this is inspiring you to maybe gear up to try this challenge if it looks interesting to you. So don't feel bad if you can't clear it right now. Just, you know, keep working towards it. It gives you something to work towards too. That way you can try it out and have fun with it later on and get that sense of achievement if that's the type of stuff that you strive after. You know, so don't let that get you down if you can't clear it right now because you got it. Just keep putting effort into it. No problem. You got it easy peasy. And this is the camo, by the way, in case you were wondering. This is the camo that you get from depth 10. This is the thing is pretty hefty, as you can see here. Pretty darn hefty there, boy. Pretty darn hefty. You take that thing out. Ooh, look at that thing. Ooh, you hear the noises from it too? Oh my goodness, you hear that noises? The noise is crazy. Ooh, that's crazy, right? Look at that big boy. That's a big boy right there. That's a crazy camo, isn't it? But that is the reward that you will get from completing depth 10. So this is definitely an item that stands out, and people will know, oh yeah, this guy freaking demolished it all. Now, of course, it may be upsetting because obviously it's only usable by these certain weapons. So, you know, even if you clear it, you're like, ah, man, I can't really showcase it because I can't use it. I can't wear it. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, it's a crazy piece of machinery right here. That's for certain. Now, if you're wondering about the fight, you know, without giving too many spoilers or whatever, because I'm sure some of y'all, you know, want to hear all of it, but some of y'all want to just kind of just go in there. So I'm not going to cover every single thing, but some of the key things that you may have difficulties with in the fight is the box move. Where you put you in a box, you need to jump onto the smooth wall here to get out of that. So there's going to be vines and prickly pears and all sorts of stuff within this box. The only way out is jumping out of it. You have to do like a double jump. So you have to time this very quickly too. Otherwise you will take damage. You have to do it immediately. And you have to find the smooth surface. There's a smooth surface on every wall. And so you have to utilize that smooth surface and get out of that box. This is like by far the hardest thing in the fight because you have to do it very quickly. So you have to be pretty much anticipating it. Because if he catches you near the middle of like, you know, an animation, then by the time the animation finishes, it's going to be a very tight window of you being able to actually jump out of the box before that damage hitting you. And this is like the hardest thing in the whole fight, to be honest. Once you get the fight down, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to necessarily, you know, discuss the phases here. Maybe, you know, it's showing on the screen. Maybe it's not showing on the screen. But we're not going to necessarily discuss everything and do a guide or anything. If you have questions, if you really want like a guide, then I can make one. Or you can just go watch me playing it because all my VODs are on YouTube. If you click on the live tab on my YouTube page, you'll see them all. And you will see me getting beat down for hours and hours upon with different classes. So all the training that you need, I have done for you. So feel free to go and pick those videos apart and be sure to like them as well. Because I did the pain for y'all. You know, well, no, I mean, I did it for, because I wanted to do it as a challenge, but obviously I do it live so that way y'all can see it, y'all can enjoy it, and then y'all can use it as well. But nonetheless, the box is definitely like the biggest thing in the fight that's going to be the biggest nuisance because sometimes you're just not going to get it. You think you got it, but you just didn't get it. And then it's just like, bro, what's going on here? Sometimes, you know, it looks perfect, but it just doesn't bounce up properly. So it's a little annoying. That's the most annoying thing in the fight. But all in all, the fight is super duper fun. super enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely be trying to go back and do it with other classes, other weapons. As y'all are very well aware, I do level up multiple and play multiple classes, as you can see here. There's all max augs and everything. So, but I do want to go back and of course do it with different classes as well. So all in all, the fight is extremely fun, extremely enjoyable, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who's looking for a challenge, because it is that. It will give you a challenge. You have to learn it, but it is fun as hell. They did a good job on this. So if you were trying to get down and boogie with the Masquerader, to get down and boogie on in. Yeah. Anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, y'all. Let me know down in the comments what your experience has been like with this fight, because I want to know what class you have been doing it on, how your experience was with it. You went in that first try, what kind of caught you off, kind of surprised you. You're like, oh, wow. If you maybe did some research beforehand, so. I want to hear it. I want to hear it all. So be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know down below. And I will see you in the next one. Happy hunting. Holla. Spike content.